What's up, guys? Welcome to the video. My channel name is College Football Frenzy, back here with another schedule breakdown video, and today I'm going to be breaking down the Memphis Tigers 2020 football schedule. Memphis was the highest ranked Group of 5 team at the end of the season last year. They made the Cotton Bowl and ended up challenging Penn State despite losing. Overall, they finished with a record of 12-2, and it was definitely a great season for the Tigers as they still managed to win the American Athletic Conference, which has definitely gone more competitive over the past few years. So for the Tigers, it was a great year that saw a lot of success. They were led by head coach Mike Norvell, who has since left to take a head coaching job at Florida State. But overall, this program had a great year last year, and they're gonna try to continue that success. Now, with that being said, there is a lot of changes going on with Memphis for this upcoming season. You have a lot of returning talent, but I do have to acknowledge there is some change. Obviously, like I said, Mike Norvell, he is out. That's definitely a big loss. He was a great head coach. Ryan Silverfield is now coming in as the head coach for the Tigers. He was the interim head coach for the Tigers in the game against Penn State, and their offense did a pretty good job against Penn State's defense. I will say that. So I think it was a good game for them. It showed that they can compete, but we'll see how he does. It's definitely going to be a change. They're also losing a few other some talent on the offense. Most notably, I would say, I feel like Antonio Gibson, the wide receiver, I feel like that's probably the biggest loss they have. He went the third round to the Redskins, I believe. I'm pretty sure he went in the third round, and he's gone now. They had a great offense. He was a big part of that last year, so losing him is definitely going to hurt. They're also losing a couple guys in the defense, but mainly last year Memphis is more of an offensive team. They had a great offense overall, high scoring. I mean, they scored a whole lot of points on Penn State, and most teams were not able to do that last year, especially like Ohio State, Michigan. They were limited by Penn State to like 28 points or less, some of those good teams, but for some reason, Memphis could score a whole lot of points on that great defense. So their offense was very good last year, and losing Gibson's going to hurt. That being said, they still have a lot of other returning talent on the offense that will keep it pretty good and keep it ready to go for this upcoming season. Brady White at quarterback, he is returning. That's definitely a big help. He's a 6-year senior. You don't see too many of those. You see plenty of 5-year seniors, not too many 6-year seniors, though. So he's a pretty experienced quarterback. He's old. He's got the experience. He should be a pretty good quarterback overall. He's returning. That definitely will help the Tigers. You've got an experienced quarterback. And you've also, I think, the big return is DeMonte Coxey, the wide receiver. Another great weapon that Memphis has, and they're going to keep him. So that's definitely going to help having him on the offense. He's a great weapon. I think he got targeted quite a few times in that Cotton Bowl. So having him back will definitely help. Overall, again, I expect the offense to be very good. The defense might have its ups and downs, but the offense should be good. Without further ado, though, let's get into the schedule breakdown. As you can see, there are definitely a few tough games on there for the Tigers this year. There are definitely a few tough road games that can definitely trip up the Tigers. Starting off, though, you start with a cupcake game against Arkansas State. That'll be no problem there. You get the job done. 2 at Purdue. So right off the bat, this is a game where I could definitely see you losing because Purdue's definitely improving, in my opinion. I think they'll be a better team next season than they were this past season. So I expect Purdue to be a pretty good football team overall. Playing in West Lafayette, it's not going to be easy. I should know as an Ohio State fan, so it's no guarantee. I think it can definitely be competitive. I think it'll be a close game. I definitely favor Memphis in this one, but not by too much overall. I think Purdue could definitely slow down Memphis, but I would take the Tigers in this one. 3, Houston. I think a pretty average team overall in the American Athletic. You're playing them at home. Really shouldn't be too much of a problem. Although they do have Dana Holgorsen, I believe that's the head coach right now. He came in from West Virginia. He was a pretty good head coach at West Virginia. So that definitely helps. But he didn't do great with Houston in his first year with the team. And they also lost starter quarterback D'Eriq King. People are saying he could be a Heisman finalist possibly. So losing him is definitely going to hurt. So I think Houston will be a pretty average team in the American for this upcoming season. I definitely think losing King hurts, regardless of, whether Holgorsen can do better with this team. So I would definitely take Memphis here. 4 at UTSA. away game, but of course, it's a very easy game. No trouble there. They're probably the second worst team in the whole state of Texas. They're not as bad as UTEP, but they're still pretty bad. So that's a win here for Memphis. 5 at SMU. They're playing a lot of Texas teams here. On the road, definitely a tough place to play. SMU and Memphis was a very hyped up game last year. It was that high-ranked Group of 5 matchup. It was where game day went and Saturday Night Football went. I remember that week. It was a pretty good game overall. Very exciting, very high-scoring, very fun. Memphis ended up pulling away late at home. That was a huge game for them. But SMU is definitely going to be looking to rebound for this upcoming season. They started out great last season, and for some reason, they just completely were a disappointment towards the end of the season. I think they lost like 3 or 4 games, including getting crushed by FAU in their bowl game. So it was a tough end of the season for SMU. But don't forget, I mean, these guys started out, I think it was 7-0 or 8-0 or something like that. So they started out pretty good. So this could be a good football team here. It's on the road. I expect them to give Memphis a big challenge. I still favor Memphis, but it's going to be a tough game here. No doubt about it. And probably a lot of points. 6, bye week. Nice time to have your bye week before maybe your biggest or hardest game of the season. 7, UCF. The Knights had a little bit of inexperience on the offense, I believe, especially at the quarterback position. So I think for this upcoming season where they'll have more experience, they have a pretty good recruiting class. I think they should be a good football team overall. So I expect the Knights to be very good. I expect them to make a little bit of a bounce back. I don't think they're going to lose in any upsets. I think if they lose, it's either a team like North Carolina or Cincinnati. I think they're going to lose to a good team, UCF. So I think they're definitely going to improve. It's a home game for Memphis, but man, I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be very close. I could see either football team winning this year. I favor the Knights. I feel like they're a little bit more talented right now. But again, I could see, I wouldn't be shocked if Memphis wins it. But this is a huge game in the American Athletic. 8, Temple. Should be an easy one. I will say Temple handed Memphis its only American Athletic loss last year. I have to bring that up. It was its only regular season loss. I believe there was a controversial call at the end of that game that benefited Temple. But overall, Memphis did lose at the end of the day by a few points. That really hurt them. But overall, they still made a New Year's Six bowl. So I guess it didn't affect them too much. But this game, I think, it's a home game. Playing at Philly, not necessarily a very easy place to play at. So home, that'll definitely help. And they're overall a lot more talented of a team. So I'll take the Tigers here. 9 at Cincinnati, big game. Cincinnati, very tough place to play at. This is probably going to be a loss, in my opinion. I think Cincinnati is doing a great job under head coach Luke Fickell. I think they're just going to continue to improve. They're pretty talented overall. They really don't show any signs of stopping. They've been doing great lately. So I expect Cincinnati to be a pretty good program overall for this upcoming season. So I'm going to take the Bearcats here at home to get revenge on you. Obviously, you played them twice last year, back-to-back weeks, and you won in close ones, I think, against Cincinnati both times. So they're going to be looking for revenge. I'm going to take the Bearcats in this one. USF, one of the most dysfunctional programs in the American Athletic right now, and I would be shocked if somebody said that a few years ago, because a few years ago, they were like a 10-win program, but a lot has changed since then. So Memphis will win easily here against USF, no problem. 11 at Navy, another tough game. They have a lot of tough games on their schedule. This is definitely not a guarantee whatsoever. I think Navy will be a decent football team next year. Maybe not as good as they were this past season. I don't necessarily know if they'll have an 11-win campaign, but they still should be decent. And playing at the Naval Academy late in the season, that's not going to be very easy. So I could definitely see Memphis possibly dropping this game. So no guarantee there overall. 12 UT Martin, that's a guaranteed win. 13 at Tulane. It's late in the season, it's on the road, but overall you're clearly the better team, so I'll take the Tigers here. So overall, looking at the schedule, it's interesting. You have a lot of tough games, in my opinion. A lot of tough games. I think you have a few guarantees. Arkansas State, Houston, UTSA, I think Temple, that's your 4th guarantee. I think USF guarantee, UT Martin, and Tulane, that's probably also a most likely guarantee. So I think you, off the bat, get at least 7 wins. But the rest of your games are really, really tough, in my opinion. Playing at West Lafayette is no joke. Playing at Dallas, no joke there. SMU, I think, will be decent. And, UCF, Cincinnati, Navy. That's very, very tough overall. So I have you coming in at 9-3, and I know it's something you probably won't like to hear, especially because you have so much talent right now. But this schedule, in my opinion, is just very unfavorable. I understand there's a lot of talent coming back on the offense, a very lot, and I'm sure, even though they're losing Mike Norvell, I'm sure they'll be coached pretty good, but this schedule is just really unfavorable in my opinion. I think one of those losses could be at Purdue, and then, UCF in Cincinnati, they're no joke, and you could definitely slip up against SMU and Navy. So that would be my estimation right now at 9-3. It's just a tough schedule. Most group of 5 programs don't have as tough of a schedule as this one, but this one's definitely a tough schedule. And if you win out, I definitely think obviously you'll make a New Year's Six bowl game, no doubt, because you would have a lot of good wins, and you would probably finish even in the top 10 in the final college football playoff rankings. But again, losing Norvell might definitely affect this team a little bit. So I definitely think that's going to hurt, and the schedule just is very, very tough. But anyway, guys, that's it for now. Thanks for joining in. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Leave your predictions for the Memphis football season down below. And that's it for now. Thank you for joining in.